and break down the 15 available free agents out there. We're going to verbally mention these guys here, Tom. Junior Gillette, Incognito, Colin Kaepernick as well, Kendall Wright. Yeah. So we don't have these guys on the list. Let's talk about number 15 here. Dan Bailey.
Kickers matter.
He matters because he's the second most accurate kicker in NFL history.
I'm kind of surprised he hasn't signed. Now, his agent does claim that he has 4 offers from NFL teams. We'll see if that's just agent talk or if that's actually the case. But Cam, he had a rough year last year, should not have tried to come back from his injury, probably just should have sat out the rest of the season. Had a bit of an iffy down year in 2016, but he is the second most accurate kicker of all time in the NFL. Like, you would think he gets signed soon, right? Right?
By the Chargers, maybe?
Chargers always seem to have kicking problems, so
Caleb
that would
Sturgis
certainly make sense.
Missed a field goal yesterday, so, I mean, I think the Cowboys were kind of crazy to let him go, and now Dan Bailey probably is fielding some calls.
Brett Maher missed his kick. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Dan Bailey. The reality is, I'll make note of this as well right now, that the NFL vested veteran guarantee no longer applies after week 1.
Yep.
So if they can sign someone and then cut them as well, I think you'll see some more guys get cut. That's why we're doing this today, after all.
All right, Corey Coleman here at number 14 on the list, formerly of the Buffalo Bills, as well as the Cleveland Browns. Did work out for the Cardinals recently, and he's in Foxborough today, Tom, working out with the Patriots.
Interesting. You think he's going to go to the Pats?
I hope not.
Ruin your Dez Bryant theory?
Totally going to ruin my theory.
Serious question, and I think this is the reality of what we have to talk about right now for Corey Coleman. Is he actually good at football? Like, he couldn't make the Browns, and he couldn't make the Bills. Like, I'm going to put him on here as a former first-round pick, but is he actually a good football player?
I saw some good things from him on the Cleveland Browns, and now he just has lost all of his ability. So, no, I don't think he can play football anymore.
Where do you think he signs?
There are a lot of options out there. I was looking at the Buffalo Bills as maybe bringing him back because the Buffalo Bills get desperate, but I don't know. I really don't have a great answer right now. What did I actually write down? I don't even remember.
You wrote down the Eagles, which I also think makes sense. I went with the Patriots, partially to upset you about
I know
Dez
you
Bryant.
did. Yeah, Philadelphia, I mean, Matt Collins put on IR, and Alshon Jeffrey's going to miss some games there, so that is an outside chance, but I think he's relatively unsigned. All right, let's go to number 13 here, the Orleans Darkwa sweepstakes. He's a free agent running back right now, visited with multiple teams this offseason, Redskins included there. What do you think about Orleans?
I think there's a really logical fit right now for Darkwa. I think it is the New England Patriots. Jeremy Hill, he is going to be out. He is out for the year after suffering his injury, which is really unfortunate for Hill, who made the Patriots roster. Darkwa coming off his own injury. That was why he hadn't signed yet. He had to get a plate removed from his leg. I thought he had a great year last year for the Giants, a surprisingly good season. I think he's an NFL caliber back. With Hill hurt, Patriots need a new, more bruiser-type back. I think Darkwa can fill that role for them. So give me the Patriots for Orleans.
I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars here. If that Leonard Fournette hamstring injury is worse than what we think, then, hey, why not bring him in, couple him with TJ Yeldon? I don't have a lot of faith in Corey Grant as that second running back there. All right, number 12, Tyvon Branch, safety, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals.
Injury is the big reason here. We mentioned this with Orleans Darkwa. It's kind of the same thing for Branch. He's coming off his own ACL injury back in November. I think he needs some more time to recover. I think at some point he'll get signed. Arizona I thought was a good fit. Then they signed Trey Boston, so maybe not anymore, Cam.
All right, so he's there at number 12. The theme with me in terms of the safety position is wait for an injury, wait for an injury, wait for an injury, because it's hard to predict where these safeties are going to go.
It's true.
The NFL season has begun.
Your injury, by the way, might have actually already happened with the Atlanta Falcons.
That is true.
Maybe that's a fit for a Branch or a guy, or some guys we'll get to hear later on in the show.
Ken O'Neal going down with an injury there. He's out for the year. All right, so we'll see if Tyvon Branch gets some action this week. Really the safety position overall. All right, so he's there. Let's take a look at Quintin Demps now, Tom. What do you think about him?
I'm kind of surprised he hasn't been signed. He had a broken arm last year, and that really ended his season, but he was really good in 2016. So why hasn't he been signed in 2018? I don't have a great reason as to why Demps has not joined an NFL roster. He expressed some interest in joining and rejoining with the Houston Texans, but that hasn't happened. And you can go back, look at his last couple of years, Cam. There's a common theme there. Pass breakups and interceptions. He can make plays. He can make turnovers for you. You don't often find those guys. So I would like to bring in Demps if I'm a team that needs safety depth. Maybe, for example, the Falcons after losing Neal or the Cowboys because they're still pretty banged up there. I think either of those teams make sense for Demps, but I think, kind of like you, this might be a waiting for an injury type deal.
Yeah, I think it's a wait
Or he
and
just
see.
goes back to Houston.
Or he could do that. All right, folks, you are watching Chat Sports. This is NFL Daily, and we are presented by FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com/ChatSports. Use that promo code ChatSports for $20 free money when you deposit $5. It's so simple. Simple math, Tom. Even you get it.
And we're pretty good at fantasy, Cam, but if you think you're better, we're challenging you. DM us on Twitter. I'm at WhatGoingDowney. He's at Mr. Rogers99. Free entry to our FanDuel game this week. The winner will get $50. So if you think you know more, prove it. DM us. We'll send you the information to get signed up there, Cam.
All right, folks, get it done. FanDuel.com/ChatSports. Number 10 on our list of available free agents. We've got Chris Baker, defensive tackle. Didn't have a great 2017. Pretty good 2016. What do we get in 2018? Who knows?
Is he like a poor man's version of Johnathan Hankins almost, who has put up good numbers in the past but has kind of fallen apart the last 2 years and maybe wants too much money? I was kind of surprised he didn't make the Bengals. I thought that was a good signing. I liked him joining with the Bucs, but that was a disaster. 2015, 2016, he was a solid player. A big body who was able to actually make some penetration and get some sacks. That was not the case this year. I know you've mentioned the Chargers for some options here. I think that makes a lot of sense for Chris Baker, for example, because they do need some more interior defensive line help.
Yeah, the LA Chargers, a team that has struggled on that defensive interior for the last couple of years. Especially last year, they struggled mightily in defending the run. That's why Chris Baker, Johnathan Hankins, these one techniques make a lot of sense to me. We both have the Chargers here. Where do you guys think Chris Baker will
I stole
sign?
your idea. I'm not going to lie. I flat out stole it.
You are not the first person to do that. Be sure to comment on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Let us know what you think about Chris Baker as we take a look at number 9 on the list. Jonathan Cooper, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, former first-round pick from 2016. Didn't work out with the Cardinals, didn't work out with the 49ers. Still looking for a job.
I think there are some injury concerns here for Cooper because he missed quite a big chunk of the preseason, Cam, as you know. And then the Niners, who you and I both thought were going to keep him, ended up cutting him. That surprised you, I know, but are you sure it's over? Couldn't the Niners bring back Cooper, who spent time with the Cardinals and the Cowboys, of course, because Mike Person's hurt now.
Yep.
They need some more interior line help. Why not one Jonathan Cooper, who really didn't make much of an impact in the preseason for the 49ers?
Right. They paid the guy $4 million to come join the 49ers. Then they eventually cut him. I projected him to be the starting right guard because I thought he had the most talent out of the core there. But Mike Person was kind of that underdog story during camp, winning that right guard spot. Josh Garnett got a little dinged up yesterday as well. So
Bring him back.
Hey, I understand the logic.
Bring him back.
I just went with the, oh my God, this line is so bad, why not bring in another body argument. The Seattle Seahawks.
That also works because you can never be wrong by saying the Seahawks should add another offensive lineman. You're never wrong in that.
I could have said Houston Texans and made the same argument as well.
Yes,
so.
yes, you could have.
All right, so Jonathan Cooper there at number 9. Let's go to John Simon.
I think he's getting signed this week.
He's got to be, right?
I think a team that runs a 3-4 scheme is going to bring him in because he was miscast in the Colts 4-3 scheme, but he's a good number 3 edge rusher as a 3-4 outside linebacker. That's a good fit for a team. I think a team like the Jets, for example, makes sense. I saw some Colts people who were surprised they cut John Simon, and I'm like, why? You saved a lot of money, and he wasn't a good scheme fit, and he had younger bodies. So that didn't surprise me, but now we're past that vested veteran deadline. I think we're going to see a guy like John Simon get signed pretty quickly.
And what that means is guaranteed money, no longer part of the equation.
Yes, you can sign someone and then cut them without paying them their entire salary.
Yep. All right, so where will John Simon sign? I'm going with the 49ers. I think it would be an interesting play. I know it's not the best scheme fit in the world,
Well,
Tom.
but it's that Leo edge rusher.
Yeah.
So it actually does make enough sense. It's almost a 4-3 defensive end, 3-4 outside linebacker hybrid. I'll take the Jets, though, who need more help at the position. Simon could even start for them, quite frankly. So, but I think SF does make some sense, too.
All right, so he's there at number 8. Let's go to the wide receiver position. Jeremy Maclin, formerly of the Baltimore Ravens. He is like in that Dez Bryant camp of just kind of purgatory, waiting for that team to give him a call and give him the right contract and all of that. But Maclin, I think, saw a big-time drop-off from 2015 to the last couple of years now. It might be time to call it a career.
I disagree. I think that if you're Maclin, you give it at least one more year of a shot. Like, yeah, the production the past 2 years has been pretty bad, but we're not that far removed from 2015, 2014, where he was incredible, even 2013 when he was good too. So Maclin, the report was that he had offers before camp to sign. I don't know if I actually believe that. Now he's dealing with a hamstring injury, and he's a few weeks away. So probably won't see him sign this week, but I think at some point this year, a team will bring in Jeremy Maclin. Maybe there's some more injuries up front or at receiver, and they say, all right, Jeremy, we'll give you one more shot, see what you can do for us. Maybe he goes back to Philly.
You're calling for a reunion.
A reunion, yeah.
Okay.
There's been some buzz in the past about it. I think it makes a lot of sense because the Eagles are kind of banged up right now at wide receiver.
Yep, still without Alshon Jeffrey, brought in Corey Coleman today too, so they very much are in the market as we stand.
And another guy we'll get to later on in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Hint, hint.
All right, I'm saying retire, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see if Jeremy Maclin gets signed. Meanwhile, at number 6, we have Robert Ayers. So there was the whole Detroit Lions thing, right? It was a 1-year deal, and then like 2 days later, he's no longer on the team. It was
very strange, and we don't know why.
Yeah.
And that maybe there's something wrong with Robert Ayers because I went back and looked, Cam, actually, at our initial projections for some of the top free agents, and I had Robert Ayers going to the Lions. And I'm like, okay, cool, I got that right. Oh, wait, no, I didn't because he got cut a day later for reasons we don't fully understand now. 2017 was not that good, but look at 2016, 2015.
He can make plays.
He can be a decent player for you. Now, he is definitely older, and I think that's a concern for teams, but he can be a backup edge rusher for you. Or if you lose somebody, he can come in and play for you.
Yeah. And in this day and age, when
you need edge rushers,
you need sacks,
yeah.
Why not? You're saying wait for an injury. I am too. It's kind of hard to project where the market is for him, especially with what happened with Detroit.
I think you originally had wait for injury. Of course, I originally had Lions. And then, so technically I was right, but only for a day.
So now,
I don't feel right. I still feel wrong on that.
Well, because he's not on the team anymore, of course.
Exactly.
Time to get into the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. And this guy is still looking for a team. Johnathan Hankins, the season has started. He's a valuable player for any front seven. I don't know why he's still out there.
I think that you're seeing Hankins be a victim of the way NFL teams value run stuffers. Typically, they don't want to invest big money in a guy that is only going to play on first and some second downs. They'd rather invest in a guy that plays on some seconds and third downs. Mm-hmm. They value guys that can get pressure on the quarterback. And outside of 2014, that hasn't been Johnathan Hankins. And the 7 sacks 2014, I guess, was a bit of a flash in the pan because he's followed it up with 0, 3, and 2.
Right.
And he hasn't signed yet. And if I'm a betting man and knowing what happened with Hankins and the Giants several years ago when they were trying to do an extension, Hankins wanted a lot of money, a lot more than any other team was willing to offer him. I think that's why the Browns passed. I think that's why other teams have done so as well. So I think money is a big reason why he is not signed. I think his personal price tag is much higher than what NFL teams are willing to offer him.
Well, if Baker doesn't go to the Chargers, I think Johnathan Hankins could certainly do that. You have Detroit on your list here as a prediction.
I think they need some more depth on the defensive line with Ashawn Robinson kind of falling out of favor quickly in Detroit. And they did bring in Hankins too, but maybe I'm just off there.
Interesting story there with Robinson struggling with Detroit right now.
Yeah, very surprising actually to me.
All right, let's go to the secondary here. Number 4, BASHAUD BREELAND has been all over the map visiting teams, and he's still without a job.
It's the foot, Cam. Like
it's gotta be, right?
The talent is clearly there. A 3-year, $24 million deal might have been actually a little bit high for him on his overall price tag. But Breeland, the foot is an issue. I think that's why so many teams have brought him in and why so many teams have passed on him, because they don't think he's healthy. And Cam, I ain't playing around. I mean, a lot of teams have brought in Breeland. Almost a third of the NFL has done so. The Jets, the Patriots, the Colts, the Browns, of course, the Panthers did because they originally signed him to an extension. And they're not actually even the only one. The Dolphins, the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Cardinals also all brought in BASHAUD BREELAND for visit, which was kind of crazy for me.
Yeah.
That so many teams have shown interest in one guy and they haven't added him.
You would think at some point these GMs are just going to call each other and be like, yeah, don't even bring this guy in. He's got a foot problem. But no, he just keeps bouncing around, going to different teams here. And you would think, given all of that, he's going to find a team at some point.
I hope so, because teams need good cornerbacks. And if he's healthy, he can play, unless that foot injury really, really is a bad one, which maybe it is. And maybe it's just not going to be healthy. And if so, that's really unfortunate for Breeland the person, because he lost out on $24 million. He ain't going to get close to that right now in the open market.
All right, so BASHAUD BREELAND is there at number 4 on the list. Before we get to the top 3, the clothing here on NFL Daily is provided by Mizzen and Maine. Head to comfortable.af, get a shirt for yourself. Troy Aikman is wearing one of these now. He's in the broadcast booth yesterday with Joe Buck wearing one. Oh, yeah. Phil Mickelson wears them as
and
well.
That great
J.J.
commercial.
Watt. Yes,
I
the
love
great
that
commercial by Phil Mickelson as well. Comfortable.af is the way to go, folks. Get one of these shirts today. All right, number 3 on the list. He's got a collusion case against the NFL, but he's a good player, Eric Reid.
Yeah, but he's not going to win this case. And that's not going to get him in the NFL. Like, you can't sue your employer and say, okay, I'm suing you. Now come pay me what I think I'm worth. That's not how it works.
What if he says, like, yeah, about that, I was kidding, right, guys? Like, bring me in.
Good luck there for Eric Reid.
Yeah.
The NFL could make this go away really easily by just signing him, but that doesn't seem like it's going to end up happening. The Niners have shown some interest, Cam. I know you know this, of bringing him back on the minimum salary, which I don't think Eric Reid wants to do. Because he's not a minimum salary player.
No, he wants more than that. And honestly, he would rather stay out of the league and fight this collusion case than, like, bite the bullet, if you will, and get a veteran minimum deal because he knows he's better than that. So I say unsigned. You say unsigned as well. Collusion case, the kneeling, all that stuff, it's part of the equation.
Unsigned.
Yeah.
It's the way to go. And it's unfortunate for Eric Reid because if I were an NFL team, I'd bring him in now because that dude can help me out at least as a number 3 safety, if not an outright number 2 one. Like, he's good.
I can't quite figure out why this guy is still without a team. NaVorro Bowman, number 2 on the list.
I got nothing for you. I don't understand. He puts up numbers every year. Maybe he's not great in coverage anymore.
No.
Maybe he's a little bit older than you want. Maybe he's even a little bit more expensive than you want. But we've seen some pretty bad linebacker play lately. You can find a spot for NaVorro Bowman in the NFL. Like, if you're asking me, would I pay NaVorro Bowman or Tahir Whitehead if I was the Raiders? Or Derek Johnson? I would have paid NaVorro Bowman. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, for example, go get Bowman. Because you need another linebacker because you haven't replaced Ryan Shazier yet. And you're, frankly, I think, a little bit thin overall. I agree with you 100%. I have no idea why NaVorro Bowman has not been signed yet. Maybe there's something we just don't know about, like some kind of freak injury that no one is aware of or some kind of suspension. But that dude should be signed.
I like your prediction, by the way, the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a good pick. I'm going with a team that historically does not value linebackers, but could use one. Why not? I know they have Ogletree now. They got him via trade with the LA Rams. But the New York Giants and the
Giants also make sense.
Yeah.
The Giants make sense there because the Ogletree I'm not quite sold on yet as the number 1 guy. Besides, it's a 3-4 scheme. I think that's Bowman's best fit. And they need one more interior guy at linebacker.
All right, we'll see if he gets workouts this week. Finally, number 1 on the list, Dez Bryant, still looking for his next team out there. Dez has been adamant on Twitter, Tom, that he is getting offers, he's getting interest, but he's taking his time. He wants to get himself right, whatever that means, but that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't know what that means at all, actually.
So Dez speak for maybe he wants Washington, Philadelphia, or New England to call him. You know what I mean? Like, he's just waiting for the right team to call.
I guess, but also if you're Dez Bryant and you're trying to cash in on a big 1-year deal next year, you should probably sign sooner rather than later, you know? Because clock's ticking, you're going to have to get some adjustment and some chemistry with your quarterback, which was your issue last year. Now you're going to join in at best week 2, and you're going to have a big breakout year, bounce back year.
Yeah.
Dez, you sure you're making the right calls here, buddy?
I mean, a multi-year deal from the Ravens a couple of months ago. He rejected that, got a deal from the Cleveland Browns with less than $5 million, according to Pro Football Talk. Apparently that didn't work out either. I don't know where he's headed in terms of the reality right now because I'm getting less and less confident that he's actually going to find a team because I think he's just fine with just chilling out and tweeting away on his couch.
I think he wants to play football, but maybe he is just trying to get his mind right and wants some time off and to not deal with people. But then while you're engaging on Twitter, I don't know. You're not going to get 2014 Dez, I don't think, but even 2017 Dez is worth rostering.
So you went with 2 predictions?
Yeah, I cheated again.
Yeah, you're
cheating. I'm sticking with my cheating. Niners Saints.
Niners Saints.
I will continue to cheat on my predictions.
I'll say New England because I've been saying New England.
You got to stick with your prediction
for the last 4 months or so. And we'll see because the Patriots brought in Corey Coleman today, so obviously they're looking for options at wide receiver, particularly not Dez Bryant for now, but we'll see if that changes So Dez is the best available free agent out there as we stand. He checks in at the 1 slot. NaVorro Bowman at 2. Eric Reid at number 3. BREELAND is at 4 there. Then Hankins at number 5. Robert Ayers there at 6. Jeremy Maclin at 7. John Simon at 8. And Jonathan Cooper at 9, followed by Chris Baker at number 10 on the list. And then the final 5 here, Quintin Demps, Tyvon Branch, Orleans Darkwa, Corey Coleman, Dan Bailey.
Kickers are people too.
Kickers.
Don't ever forget that they have feelings and everything.
They absolutely do.